They feel like they're just dumb and incompetent? Sometimes. Yes, but I don't feel like unquat. I actually am. Yes. But I don't worry about it. As long as you are happy and not causing a problem to society, then you are as valuable as 99% of people. Yes. In areas where I'm not an expert. Like cooking, baking, gardening, and taking care of myself, etc. I still believe that I'm valuable. And so are you. There are billions of people in the world. Yet only you can do you. Yes. Anytime I'm not in the right environment. Smart means fit. If you're a fit with where you're at, what you're doing and who you're with, you'll look and feel smart. My dog is dumb when he's trying to catch a frisbee. But smart when he's hunting. You need to find your fit no matter what. You'll never be happy until you do. What movie has the greatest opening of all time? Team America, World Police. Opening with that shitty looking little puppet show makes viewers wonder, oh, hamburgers. Is the whole thing gonna be like this ? And quat. But then we get treated to the glorious pan out. Showing awesome attention to delicate detail. Fucking genius. Scream. Drew Barrymore was all over the promotion for the film and was a huge star. To kill her off in the opening scene in the manner they did was shocking. I really love the opening scene of Back to the Future. You get so much info about the characters and their relationship from almost nothing. All the clocks in Doc's garage. The homemade dog feeder. The newscaster speaking and then the box of plutonium. Marty and the giant speaker. The phone call with Doc. And Marty racing out the door. Inglourious Bastards. I have literally only watched the opening scene a number of times just so I can watch Christoph Waltz completely change the mood of the whole scene just by relaxing his face from a smirk into seriousness. The first time I saw it in the cinema I was floored. Kung Fu Panda. Legend tells of a legendary warrior whose kung fu skills were the stuff of legend. Years later, and that still cracks me up. The first time I saw it I knew it was going to be a great movie. Beautifully animated and scored as well. Raising Arizona. The pre-title card opening is like 10 minutes long. In those 10 minutes they completely flush out the development of the two main characters. Their love story is completely told before the movie even really starts and quat. It is hilarious. Incredibly shot and edited. And you can rewatch it about 10,000 times. It's always been one of my favorite, if not my absolute favorite film openings of all time. Why would someone add my Reddit profile to the Wayback Machine? It's automatic. What's scary is when they remove content and people from the Wayback Machine on purpose. It's not a manual process. It scrapes websites and automatically adds it to their database, don't they? It archives the internet, so technically you did it. What's a Wayback Machine? It's bots, Lamau. No one is stalking you. By default, Reddit will make your profile searchable. You'll need to turn that off in your profile settings. Introverts, how much/often do you talk to your romantic partner? I listen every day but talk not too much cause it was a lot of arguments for no reason. Usually it's late at night and no interruptions, then I talk. Sometimes it freaks my partner out because of the depth it goes into. I'm introverted but my partner is still one of the most important people to me. I make sure to say goodnight and usually we talk to each other every other day or for a couple days in a row. We video chat on a predetermined day, usually once a week. That behavior is unusual but everyone is different. Some people can go days or weeks without communication and that's okay, but I do not do well with that in my romantic relationship. Also, doesn't help that we're in LDR. I never had a problem talking to them but they were always under the impression that silence was a bad thing. Personally, I don't think that's true. Sometimes you should just be able to comfortably sit in silence. To them, it was almost like me being silent meant some sort of negative connotation towards them. Also, whenever they were silent with me, they were extroverted. It was an instant flag that they were upset about something or other. The best example I can think of is weaponized silence. I dunno. It was all a bit exhausting, to be honest. He sounds pretty severe. Lol. Introverts are often very perceptive. We see extroverts as people that just barrel into situations without regard for repercussions. We see a minefield while you just run on through. You follow your heart while we have to manage you following your heart. This exhausts us. This relates to your question because it's not how much we want to talk. It's how much we get exhausted. We can talk about non-exhausting topics all day long. We also can enjoy the things that exhaust us until we are tired. Pro-gun Americans. What's the reasoning behind bringing your gun for errands? I don't personally, but I studied crime in college. Statistically speaking, as a man you're far more likely to be murdered by a stranger in the streets. With that in mind, carrying a gun for self-defense as a man isn't that unreasonable. In 4 real men use their fists when someone attacks you. It isn't a boxing match, and even throwing punches can get very lethal very quickly, and no matter how badass you think you are, there is always someone bigger and stronger than you out there. In case anyone is wondering, as a woman you are most likely to be killed at home by someone you know. For those who were curious. I grew up in a shit part of town where I was constantly under threat of violence. I may not live there anymore. But I still have some of the ingrained paranoia and fear that develops as a result of living in those kinds of places. I've finally reached a point where I can go out without my gun. But I generally choose not to. I don't honestly believe that I'm ever going to pull the trigger outside of a shooting range. But I am keenly aware of the legitimacy behind the statement, it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And quat. Criminals don't make appointments letting you know ahead of time when, where, and how they're going to attempt to victimize you. Additionally, those locations where you feel it's not necessary to be armed are precisely the types of places people with ill intent seek out in order to cause harm without encountering meaningful resistance. Carrying a few ounces of metal and plastic on me is a small price to pay for the responsibility of protecting my own life, which doesn't lie with the police, the government, or anyone else. It is my responsibility and mine alone.